Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundless success to join today. Let's get you to the next level.
We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Israel retaliates against Iran. The presidential campaign heats up. TV and movie production leaving California, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. In the largest attack by Israel on Iran in history, Jerusalem on Friday launched a wave of retaliatory airstrikes against Iran after the Islamic Republic fired a barrage of missiles towards Israelis earlier this month. Local Israeli news outlet Channel 12 reported that in a direct attack on Iran, Israel sent 140 Air Force planes to the skies for the assault that targeted military facilities containing missile exports, drones, ballistic missile transmitters, and Iran's air defense systems. After Israel's daring aerial military strikes, the Jewish state announced that it is prepared to continue to go on the offense against the world's worst state sponsor of terrorism, the Islamic Republic of Iran, if Tehran responds. The Israel Defense Forces spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, said if the regime in Iran were to make the mistake of beginning a new round of escalation, we will be obligated to respond. Our message is clear. All those who threaten the state of Israel and seek to drag the region into a wider escalation will pay a heavy price. He added, "We demonstrated today that we have both the capability and the resolve to act decisively, and we are prepared on offense and defense to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel." American F-16 fighter jets were deployed to the Middle East, U.S. Central Command confirmed on Friday, in a show of ironclad commitment to Israel as tensions mount with Iran. CENTCOM did not detail how many F-16s had been sent to the area of responsibility, but said they had been deployed from the 480th Fighter Squadron based in Germany. The Department of Homeland Security reportedly approved refugee applications for members of a Venezuelan gang now causing havoc in states across the U.S., and authorities have increased efforts to track and deport members. Kevin Grigsby, the head of refugee operations at U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, told officials in an internal email that members of the Tren de Aragua had been approved for refugee status and made it to the U.S. before a different agency spotted tattoos indicating gang membership. They were then stopped from entering, according to the Washington Times. Unfortunately, we did not ask about the tattoos during our adjudication or did not identify that the tattoos asked about were consistent with gang membership, he wrote in a September 16th email, the Times reported. The Chinese hackers who burrowed into the networks of U.S. telecommunications firms have used their deep access to target the phones of former President Donald Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance, and people affiliated with Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, according to sources familiar with the matter. It wasn't clear what data the hackers were able to obtain from any of these devices. The hackers are believed to be tied to China's intelligence services. Investigators have notified a bipartisan group of politicians targeted by the hackers. A number of prominent Democrats in Congress were among the targets, including staff for Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. The known scope of the attack has grown substantially in recent weeks as the investigation has progressed. Investigators now believe that the hackers gained access to U.S. telecommunications infrastructure and targeted or compromised at least several dozen different companies and people. Former President Trump earned endorsements from highly respected Muslim leaders and imams during a campaign rally in the battleground state of Michigan. Trump, speaking to a crowd in Novi, Michigan on Saturday afternoon, called the group of Muslim leaders highly respected before bringing them on stage. "I'm thrilled to accept the endorsement of these highly respected leaders," Trump told the thundering crowd. Former President Trump then took the stage at his historic Madison Square Garden rally on Sunday evening, where thousands of supporters from the deep blue Northeast state cheered wildly as the 45th president railed against Biden-Harris administration policies and vowed to make America great again. Trump took the stage at Madison Square Garden just after 7 p.m. in the packed stadium, where he focused his speech on spiraling immigration, inflation woes, and looking towards the future with lower consumer costs and securing the border. The rally was first come, first serve and sold out within hours of being announced this month. Madison Square Garden has a capacity of 19,500 people. "I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer," Trump told the crowds as he spoke about the illegal immigration crisis since 2021. Bars and restaurants around Madison Square Garden were packed with supporters watching the event on television when they couldn't get into the rally. For the first time since the 1980s, the Washington Post, known for its political coverage and whose slogan is famously, "Democracy dies in darkness," refused to endorse a presidential candidate. Publisher and CEO Will Lewis, who was brought in by Post owner Jeff Bezos earlier this year, wrote about the decision in an op-ed this weekend, arguing that it's a return to the paper's roots. According to NPR, employees were shocked, while former top editor Marty Barton called it cowardice. Washington Post reporters, in their own story about the decision, reported that an endorsement of Kamala Harris had been drafted, but Bezos made the call not to publish it. The decision follows a similar one made this week by the Los Angeles Times owner Patrick Soon-Shiong, which led several editors to resign in protest. A county in the pivotal battleground state of Pennsylvania is investigating roughly 2,500 voter registration forms that were flagged for potential fraud, Pennsylvania's Department of State confirmed on Friday. The office stated it has been in contact with Lancaster County since last week after it reported receiving 2 separate batches of apparently fraudulent voter registration forms. Suspected fraudulent voter registration forms were dropped off at the Board of Elections office in 2 batches at or near the deadline for submission, the board said in a statement Friday. Both the local district attorney's office and the Lancaster County Board of Elections are working to review and vet the applications. Latino voters, a long-standing Democratic voting bloc, appear more likely to cast their ballot for former President Trump than Vice President Harris this election cycle, according to recent polls. A new USA Today Suffolk University poll taken among Latinos between October 14th and 18th saw Trump boasting an 11-point lead at 49% compared to Harris's 38%, with plus or minus 9% margin of error. Despite Latino voters trending towards Democratic candidates in the past, Goya Foods CEO Bob Urinew isn't surprised. "We are the #1 exploited community in the world," he stated. The television and movie industry has been moving production out of California. California's Governor Gavin Newsom proposed more than doubling the state's tax incentives for movie and film production from $330 million per year to $750 million per year to reverse the entertainment industry's exodus from its historic hub. As more U.S. states and foreign countries lure filming crews with tax breaks, entertainment production in the greater L.A. area dropped 5% in the third quarter from a year before, which is a shocking decline given that last year twin strikes had frozen Hollywood activity, according to a report from Film LA. The higher tax incentives, which are expected to be approved by the state legislature, would go into effect next July. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.